Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. It is Wednesday. It is back to work Wednesday for not only the Chicago Bears, but also Mark. Oh my God, he's Tan Carman.
I had early beef. Great to see you guys, but like
Early beef.
Early beef. I'm so happy to be here. I was so excited for the show.
Beef.
I tweeted the show at like 9, swinging in from West Virginia. Some people got the thank you, Braggs, for getting the Bajan tangent that was going on there.
And then about when you were swinging into that river.
Yes, and
with shoes on.
Have you ever been to the LUNK rainforest? Those of you who are yelling at me for wearing shoes, I'm walking through mud and rocks. You had to wear shoes. It was determined. It was demanded.
I would like to actually get into this a little further, but I know that today is a Brian Baldinger day, so we're going to get him in.
Baldy day.
So let me set that up real fast.
Great. Well,
we'll get back to this nightmare scenario that
I just want to get out my beef here. I mean, Hoge walks in. You're so calm. No hello, no nothing. Sits down. Haven't seen the guy in forever.
Not a hug.
No hug, no nothing. Then he strolls onto the show a minute late. Got people in the chat screaming that we know that they're late because Carm's back, so we're late.
I'm game planning, man. I'm looking at what's wrong with the Lions, how the Bears defensively can stack up. Its front seven suddenly looks decent.
You're in playoff mode. You're in
this 5-game stretch here.
That's right, playoffs. Let's go.
And that's why we got Baldy here to help us figure this all out. All of a sudden, the same matchup that Baldy was 3 weeks ago, the Bears were 9.5-point dogs in Detroit. Now all of a sudden it's a field goal. They're right there with them, right, Baldy? How you doing?
I'm good, Adam. Glad you could join us. We've been doing this without you here for a while. No, I mean, look, the season is always a winding road. I mean, Chicago, week 5, they were dead in the water. They've improved a lot. Detroit was on their way to fighting for a number 1 seed. Then they stumbled on Thanksgiving and rebounded in New Orleans last week. I mean, it's a week-to-week league. And so the lines and what Vegas looks at kind of gets adjusted every week.
I mean, the fact that had they not blown 2 games, that they had a 99% chance of winning, does that show? Because had they not blown those games,
that up literally every day?
Every day of my life.
Okay.
Does that? I mean, because had they won those games like they should have, they'd be the 6th seed in the playoffs right now. So does that show that the Bears are actually closer than it feels, or does that show that the head coach is still to be?
They're certainly a lot more competitive. And Justin's had 2 good games in a row. Yes, they should have beaten Detroit, 3 weeks ago, I guess. But, look, they get a chance to get them at home here and finish the deal that they didn't finish in Detroit. And they come off a week's rest. They should be as healthy as they've been. And so let's see. I mean, the game will decide if they're improved or not. This is a good test. You come back and you beat Minnesota at the end and you keep the score down, and everybody said it was ugly, but it was a good defensive battle. So let's see if those corners can play like they did against some good receivers, like they did against Minnesota, and let's see if they get a little pass rush going, and let's see if let's just see if this is an improved team the last 5 weeks of the season.
Baldy, let's talk about the Lions here for a second, because I don't know what to make of their last 3 weeks, but it hasn't been great. I mean, they pulled out the win against the Bears, but 95% of that game they weren't playing well. Then they lose to the Packers on Thanksgiving, and then last week's game against the Saints was just kind of weird. It looks like up to 21-0.
Well,
they should
21-0 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they relaxed or what they did. I mean, I watched it, but Chris Olave looked like he was going up against the JV. for much of the game. And they got back into it because he was just running all over the place. And, whether it was Derek Carr throwing it or, Jameis Winston, I mean, they couldn't stop Chris Olave. They got back into the game and, turned it around. And then they flipped it to Jameson Williams and the game was over. Like, it was just that fast. He's the Motown Comet and nobody could touch him. They couldn't touch him. The last time they played him, I'd keep an eye on number 9 because he's the fastest guy on the field every week that they play.
Baldy, people want to know in the chat why you're dressed up. You do look very, very TV ready right now.
Yeah, I had to do something. I was with the Jets all morning. So it wasn't a funeral up there at the New York today, but it was Zach Wilson probably back at quarterback for him. So, there's a lot to kind of get to.
I was wondering if you were auditioning to play quarterback for them this week.
Well, I mean, they've only had like 42 guys since Namath, retired that have tried to nail down that position. So, I mean, why not? I mean, I can still throw it. I believe in the forward pass. I could throw a hit screen to Garrett Wilson with the best of them.
I wanted on the record that I was on the show for 7 minutes before Lawrence got mad at me for my question. You're asking him what he's wearing. Yes, I'm asking him what he's wearing. People are commenting. I want to know why he's in a suit. Baldy doesn't normally look like this. We have a personal relationship.
It's a blazer. It's the sport.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, Baldy, I'm sorry, Carm.
No. You will calm down, and then I will. Because I need to help you with your last question. First of all, Baldy, I want to point out that I went on vacation from Thursday to Tuesday. So I did not miss a Baldy appearance. So just know that for the record. Yeah. Second of all, to rewind all the way back to Braggs' question 3 minutes ago that I think he could have asked a little bit better. Have the Bears underachieved?
No, I don't think so because I don't think it was a very good roster. I mean, look what they've added since the start of the season. I mean, they've added 2 defensive ends since the start of the season. I don't think they've underachieved. It wasn't a very good roster. I mean, we saw Kansas City isn't a very good offensive team this year, and they scored any way they wanted to score against them. So I think they've improved, but I don't think they've underachieved.
There you go. 5-year extension, Flus. Let's go.
Okay.
I don't think he's saying that either, but
But meanwhile, this defense looking kind of legit. How much can one player make a difference? Because Montez Sweat arrives, and all of a sudden this front 7 looks, more than capable.
Well, I just did a game in Washington last Sunday against Miami, and I was talking to the defensive line coach, Jeff Scanina, and I was like, "How do you let Montez Sweat, out of your building? Period. I mean, you can go in the draft this year, not going to find Montez Sweat. I mean, they're just not 6'6", 270-pound guys that run and play as hard as he does. Like, I think his effort's contagious. I'm not saying he's the turnaround, but certainly things have gotten better with him, and everybody else has a chance to get to the quarterback. Dexter could bat a ball that gets intercepted, whatever. Everything gets better when you get at least a legit pass rusher on your defensive line that you got to worry about, who could beat one-on-ones, that can make plays on the other side of the field. Like, you can't come in the defensive line room and put the tape on and not notice what Montez is doing.
Well, and I think a lot of people killed the Bears right away that they gave up a second-round pick for him when the 49ers only had
that guy in the second round. I mean, I don't know what you got to pay him.
Yeah.
I don't know what the contract situation is going to be, but you're not going to find him and I haven't even begun to study the draft. I just know you're not finding that in the second round in this year's draft.
But what I was getting at there is so the 49ers gave up a third for Chase Young, but I think what was kind of being missed in that instant reaction of 2 teams making a trade for 2 teammates within, an hour or so was everything that Montez Sweat gives you from what you were just talking about. The against the run, his hustle, his intensity, everything the Bears are trying to do on defense. And I think from the time he's gotten here, it's like you said, it's been contagious, I think.
I think so. And look, I mean, the corners play. Jalen Johnson played the best game I've ever seen him play. Now, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I thought against Minnesota, that was the best game I've ever seen him play. And, some of it is you have more confidence because quarterbacks just aren't going to hold the ball as long as they once did with him out there. Like, they've got to be cognizant. They got to have a clock in their head. He's going to turn the corner. If he's coming breathing down your neck, like, you don't want to be there with the ball in your hand when he gets there. So you release it a little bit earlier than you want to sometimes.
You mentioned the offseason, Baldy, and that's something Bears fans, that's their favorite time of year because that's the season of dreaming, right? I've got my eyes on tomorrow night. I know we can talk about Bears-Lions, but this Patriots-Steelers game has big implications for Bears fans. The Cardinals won on Sunday, which up the ante for the Bears' chances of having the number 1 or number 2 pick to like 93%. And I need the Patriots to win a game. Is Bill Belichick capable of tanking? Because I have a hard time believing that. Like, everybody says that they're just in the tank now. They're not trying to win. But I just can't envision Bill Belichick signing off on that kind of way.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. They're trying to win a game. I mean, look, if you were going to the Illinois State Fair and you wanted to win the biggest teddy bear, like, you wouldn't hire Mac Jones or, any of their quarterbacks there, Bailey Zappi, to knock down the milk cartons. Like, they're not hitting them. Like, you're getting the smallest prize. I mean, those quarterbacks are awful. The offense is awful. They tried to run the ball and play without a quarterback, but eventually you get a holding call, you give up a sack, you have a negative play, your starting running back gets hurt for a long time. I mean, it's just hard. And their 2 best defensive players are on the shelf. But they're playing offense, like, honestly, like back in the 70s, the way that they're playing it. But they don't really have the ability to play any other way. They just don't have a lot of talent there. So they could have had the ball. Like, that's the second time I've seen them shut out this year. They got shut out by New Orleans. And honestly, watching that game last week, they could have had the ball 100 times. I don't think they were scoring a touchdown. It's just the way it is right now.
So the Houston Texans are scoring a lot of touchdowns, and CJ Stroud is getting consideration for the MVP, and he's a lock for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. The dude's got 3,500 yards. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to, just poke at the bear here, Baldy, but why not? Like, can we not just say that the Bears blew it by not drafting C.J. Stroud? Is it impossible for people to admit around here that this dude he's in consideration for the MVP?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's all after the fact. Why didn't Carolina draft him?
Right, they blew it too.
Why didn't they blew it? And everybody else that didn't draft him blew it, but nobody knew it. Nobody knew. You can't find a consensus on C.J. Stroud in May or April that said he'd be the Rookie of the Year and in contention for Player of the Year. Nobody. You couldn't have got that out of anybody's mouth. Now, why did they miss? I mean, for the reason what they always miss, because they always look at the wrong things. They don't look at, the leadership, the poise, the accuracy, the ability to actually – because, they're just saying, oh, he's a Ohio State quarterback. It's a system. They have 4 number 1 draft picks at wide receiver. Like, anybody could be successful. Like, they say the same things, but you have to evaluate these guys separately and set from everybody else, and they don't do that.
So,
yes,
I mean,
you can do that in hindsight. You can say, yes, we blew it.
I understand, and I think it's just funny, by the way, that some people were happy that I was back at the minute I even bring that up.
Yep.
Like they're
welcome back, Carm. Welcome back, Carm. Throwing arrows at the quarterback situation.
It's like, I don't know. I'm losing my mind, Baldy. I'm reading.
Hold on, because this is what I want to ask you, Baldy. Because this is like the $1 million question for Bears fans. If you were the GM, would you predicate building the team first and then the quarterback, or getting your quarterback and then worrying about the rest of the team?
Well, it's easier if you get the quarterback first. If you know that you have it, like it was pretty easy. Like, Patrick Mahomes didn't play his rookie year, except for the last game of the season. But it was pretty easy to figure out Mahomes was the guy. And okay, we better get ourselves some good tackles, and let's build the defense, all that stuff. Joe Burrow was pretty easy. Okay, let's because when they drafted Joe, the next year was like, okay, do we take Jamar Chase or do we take Penei Sewell? What do we do? Well, Jamar Chase turned out to be a good pick, but we've seen Joe Burrow on the shelf 2 out of the last 4 years. So maybe Penei Sewell would have been the better pick. If you know you've got the guy at quarterback, then you do that first and you build the team around it. If you don't know you have it, then you just build the team as strong as you possibly can and you wait to insert the quarterback.
Yeah. Why has this gotten so hard? Because, Baldy, while you were,
I mean, look, just to add, okay, Brock Purdy's the MVP. In my mind, he's the MVP of this league. Okay, I just saw him carve up Philadelphia. They were 10-1. They looked like they couldn't play defense against him. He didn't make a mistake. Jake Browning hadn't played in 5 years.
Right.
He looked like Joe. Like, if you didn't know any better and you didn't watch the game, you would have thought Joe Burrow played. Just looking at the stat line. and he played that good. So we always miss, and we're just going to keep missing. Like maybe you should just always draft a quarterback. Keep like they did. Like Jake Browning wasn't even drafted. Just put a guy on the roster and just go play on the scout team and do all this stuff. And 5 years later, pull him off the mothballs when there's nobody else left and plug him in. And maybe sitting around for 5 years and learning from Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow really rubs off on these guys.
Yeah, because when you were on the show last week, I was on a plane and we talked about this earlier in the week, but I downloaded a couple of the Caleb Williams games and this is the coach's tape I'm watching, and I watched Notre Dame and I watched Utah. Those weren't his best games, but I asked around. I said, what are the toughest defenses that he faced? What's going to give me the best look at the NFL? And I'm watching this, and there's actually more good than I thought going in because of I saw the stats. I kind of knew he didn't play well, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting blown away here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting blown away to the point that I just want to give up on Justin Fields. That being said, if he gets drafted by a different team and he's in the MVP conversation next year, it wouldn't shock me at all. Like, I don't know anymore. This is just gotten too hard.
There's so many parameters. If Tua isn't with Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill, maybe they've already moved on from Tua.
Yeah.
The way that, Brian Flores looked at him and a lot of people looked at him and just going, oh, Justin Herbert is a 10 times better player. They blew it. Well, a lot of people in Miami and around the league now can look at Tua and go, they didn't blow it. They just need a really good coach and a really good players around him, and he could be an MVP the way he's playing right now. So, there's all of that consideration. And then, if you just said Mahomes, I happen to do a lot of Big 12 games back in those days. And, nobody thought Pat Mahomes could do what he's doing. But the fact is that at Texas Tech, they had to score 50 at least to beat Oklahoma or Baylor or TCU back then. So he was just gunslinging every week. And so you could say, well, he's got to work on his mechanics. He's playing way out of control. Well, that's the way he plays. But that out of control and that is now trying to be copied by everybody else that comes into this league. I could be Mahomes. Zach Wilson could be all this comparisons now, but there is no other Pat Mahomes. So the game is just so different in college than it is in the pro. Every position is a projection from college to the NFL, but the quarterback position is completely a projection.
Baldy, we could probably ask you this question every week until, I don't know, they make a decision one way or the other. But if you were Ryan Poles and you're trying to figure out if you're going into year 3 with Matt Eberflus, and you got 5 games left here. You're sitting at 4-8. You're not putting 3-14 on him last year because that'd be ridiculous. But you can look at 2 games that you should have won this year. So now you have a 500 football team. How would you evaluate your head coach the rest of the way? Would you just base it on how many wins that they do, or would you base it on how the quarterback looks, or the defense? I guess.
All right. So let's answer the question then. Is Jim Harbaugh available?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Okay.
So
you would do it more on who I can get.
Yeah. Well, because you always have to ask if you're unsure. Okay, you have to say, okay, well, who can we get, and who we get, do we know he's going to be better? Because I think Matt Eberflus is building this thing, and I think it's going in the right direction. Now, 4 wins doesn't make anybody excited in Chicago. I get it. But I feel like it's going, and we'll see what happens this week against a division opponent and with a good record and a good team that I know is going in the right direction. But you also have to ask, okay, who's better and who's out there? Because you've seen all the stopgap guys come through Chicago that they put in there. So, if Jim Harbaugh is available after they lose to Alabama, I didn't say that, but just say he's available whenever that happens, whatever happens. You have to consider that. I don't care who you are. If you're the Chargers, if you're Chicago, go through all the teams, Tampa, all the teams that might be Washington, who's ever considering a change. Because of his success at the NFL level and how quickly he turned San Francisco around, you have to consider him.
Let's just say for hypothetical sake that they consider him, and Harbaugh wants to be the Bears head coach. And his one caveat is listen, I want to be intimately involved in the decision on quarterback, whether we're keeping Justin or who we're going to draft. If you're Ryan Poles, are you saying that's cool, Jim? I'm on board. I will follow your lead.
Yeah, because nobody thought that Kaepernick could be what he was, but Harbaugh said, "I'm taking this guy out of Nevada, and I'm going to run the pistol formation, and we're going to run the ball, and this is how we're going to do it." and he basically revolutionized a part of football. But he had a vision for how he wanted his team to be built and how they wanted to run it, and it was good. They went within 5 yards of winning a Super Bowl in a short period of time.
I think it's also important to remember this whole, and it's probably a fair narrative that Harbaugh wants control and he wants to do things his way, and I'm sure there's a certain level of truth to that. But it's also been almost a decade now since he was in the NFL. Coaches evolve. Coaches, it changed at least a little bit, and they understand that if he wants to get back in, he's maybe have to give up some control.
I don't know. His defense coordinator was pretty good. He's doing the job in Miami right now.
Yeah.
And so they only led the league in takeaways in San Francisco. I mean, I would take that guy, and maybe they put the band back together. I don't know. But, I mean, he's doing a good job in Miami right now. He's done a good job everywhere he's been. So I would trust Jim's ability to put the staff together. I mean, he had Mike McDonald on his staff, and right now they've got the best defense in Baltimore. Like, I think the wheels never stop turning in that psychopathic mind of his. Like, I think he's on top of the college game, how to build toughness within a team, within the rules, how to insert your quarterback and what the role of that guy is. Justin Smith was a guy in Cincinnati, but he was an all-world player in San Francisco. Their defense played at a level that, only rivaled Baltimore at that time. So, I don't know. I wouldn't have a decade ago, like a decade from now, like I think that guy knows how to coach a football team.
Yeah, well, you don't have to convince any Bears fans about potentially bringing Vic Fangio back to Chicago. Did I see you doing yoga? Did I see a video of you doing yoga on Instagram last night? I think I did.
Yeah, you could have, yeah. Probably doing a little standing head to knee. Yeah.
I mean,
I watched it. Your practice is your practice, Baldy. You're not out there to impress everybody. Just because you couldn't hold that straight leg, I wouldn't get in your head about that. Your practice is your practice.
Whoa, I was very impressed.
Well, but Baldy,
I'm going to do a split right now. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Wow.
Like, I can still get that done.
Are you serious?
That's insane.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm a hot yoga, yogi, man. So I'm in there. I'll be in there at 5:45 today.
He's a hot yogi yogi.
No, listen, the first thing that goes when you get older is your flexibility. So if you don't keep your flexibility, you're going to lose it. You have to tie your shoes, and your back's going to go, and all that stuff.
I'm so right with Baldy right now because I'm feeling all of it all the time. I got a pinched nerve in my neck. I was having trouble to bend down. And
yoga take care of that, man.
Yeah,
I don't believe in pinched nerves anymore. I had those for 12 years in the NFL. I got out of that. I'm done with all that stuff.
I love Baldy. Officially love you. just so you know. You got anything else there, Gregory? Because I got one offensive line question.
Yeah, the biggest question is, like, if you're Shohei Ohtani, are you going to go to the LA Dodgers, or are you going to come to Chicago where fans actually show up to the games on time and they don't leave early for traffic, and
they wear it's
on the greatest summer city in the world?
I want to. If I'm the best player in baseball, I want to play in Wrigley Field and bring another championship. Yes.
There it is.
Clip it.
Don't send that to Shohei because he doesn't want any communication about him whatsoever. and he's never going to talk to the media when he gets here, and he's going to be $800 million. Not saying that they shouldn't sign him. All right.
No-hitter this year and hit 2 home runs in the same game?
I would think it was a one-hitter, but yeah, essentially.
One-hitter? One-hitter and 2 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
basically Babe Ruth, but,
He said Tommy John twice.
Way better than Babe Ruth.
My baseball team doesn't even want him. That's fine.
I'm with Reinsdorf. Overrated.
Go ahead with your own
well, here, one little note. Darnell Wright, who is having a fine rookie season here, Baldy, no doubt about it. But he leads the Bears in penalties. 5 false starts, 4 holding calls. He's got a illegal block above the waist as well. Would that concern you at all going forward with Darnell? Maybe we're, giving him too big of a pass because he's looked so good at times?
The illegal block above the waist, I don't care. False starts are you got to lock in. I mean, that's a concentration thing. So guys get big, they get tired. You got on the road. That can be corrected. The holding calls, he gets himself out of position. I think he still has some balance. He's young. I think he still has some balance issues. That's going to come with strength and maturity and just playing lower. He's a big guy. He gets out of position sometimes, and when you're out of position, you grab. And then like he wants to kill people, which is good. I like that. But in this league, these guys behind you in the striped shirts, like they just see the finish. And sometimes these holding calls aren't holding calls, and then the holding calls that should be called aren't called. So you have to almost learn the rules all over again. As a young player, you just got to know when you can be aggressive, when you can't, when to pull off. Plays going outside, I don't care who it is. Khalil Herbert's going outside, just pull off. Because if he goes down and they flop like they do, like you're getting called. So I think there's a lot to learn about how the game is officiated, which can help them.
Don't look guilty, right, Baldy? Do whatever you can and not look guilty, and they'll go a long way.
Well, I mean, you saw the non-call on Monday night with the back judge looking right at the receiver in Kansas City. Like, I don't know how you don't call that. So it's subjective. They don't get it right. You can't bitch about it because it's in the past, but at the same time, you can learn from it.
Baldy, thanks so much. We'll be listening to the All NFL show this week, too.
Yeah.
At Baldy NFL on Twitter. Always appreciate it.
Yep. All right. I'll see you next week, man. Enjoy that game with Detroit.
See you in class.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Hunter Taraski, out of context, Baldy. He wants to kill people, which is good. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Put it in the context for me.
Yeah, no, I like the context. I thought it was good.
All right.
Right when you said it, I'm like, print the T-shirt. That's great. And I want to talk about Darnell Wright here a little bit too coming up. But can you guys believe that we're this deep into the NFL season?
I cannot.
Already? We got to make every second count. I'm starting to feel that for sure. Oh, what are you pointing at?
No,
None of your business. We're keep on with the keeping on.
We're keeping on with the keep on over here, too.
Well, I'm going to keep on with trying to soak in every minute of football I can before it ends. And then I find myself watching the Daytona 500 in February, which happens too often.
The March Madness.
Just
Big
keeps
10 going to make a big run.
We're going to roll right into the number 1 overall draft pick. It's going to be great.
Okay. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you can make the most out of every game day. Bet your favorite teams for a shot at winning big bucks. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting 5 on any matchup. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the app now. Use code CHGO. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on the NFL. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
And shout out to our great friends at ComEd. It is getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. It's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
That's right, Carm. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
I did not know that you were such a good, big, intelligent brags on the electric grid. I love it.
Yeah.
So what should business owners do, Greg?
Well, I'll tell you that, Hoge, and
Hoge.
I mean, Carm, are you paying attention, Hoge? You better be, because go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
Yes, I did, Carm. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come. You can do it.
Yeah.
It's electric.
I miss the EE. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, well, we're changing it up. Carm's back, so singing is back.
I do like that you just bust out. You can do it. It's electric. Maybe we can get that going as
You can flus it.
it's electric.
Well, that's okay. Now
I don't know if we can.
There's a parody song.
I'm very
I don't know what you're
excited.
talking about. The Bears are going to win their last 5 games.
Are you picking them this
Dry
weekend? Have you
spell
decided?
of parody songs. I
Are
know
you
how much.
I'm talking myself into it.
You're talking yourself into a
I'm
Bears?
talking myself into
Are
it.
Hell
you
yeah,
picking-
9 wins.
I don't like how the
I
Lions
said the Bears were gonna win 9 games this year, and God damn it, they're gonna win 9 games.
You really think they're going to win the last 5
No, I
games?
don't.
Okay, well, I'm glad we settled that.
Do you think they're winning Sunday?
I don't. When Justin Fields plays, they are the most unpredictable team. They really are. They are very hard to predict. Right. With Tyson Bagent, it's easy. They're going to lose because he sucks. But if Justin Fields, I'm kidding.
I have a hot take on that. I don't think they're that unpredictable.
They're very
I
unpredictable.
think they're going to be in the game in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And
every
most of the
game
time-
comes down to the fourth quarter. It's
That's what I said. And
well, I'm just saying, like
and usually they don't win it,
they did last week.
but then they did. But they were right there. They're always there. They're always there.
Then they have these games where, like Washington or the Patriots last year, where they blow a team out that you're not expecting.
Bad teams.
Yeah.
they're
When they play a
just-
bad quarterback, then that's why I'm struggling to get over the hump to pick them this week,
There's
Carm.
no
because
reason they should have lost to the Packers, and then they get their ass whooped.
Gotta work on punctuation.
Wait. I miss both of you desperately. Just know that. And
You did get a tan.
And neither of you answered the question. So I have no idea if either of you
Because
are
it's
picking
Wednesday and I haven't decided yet,
them.
Carm.
So you don't know, and do you know?
Do I know if they're going to win Sunday?
No,
I'm
do you know
not
if I
tipping
don't-
my
not if-
hand.
I know you don't know who's going to win because the game hasn't been played. I want to know if you know who you're picking.
No,
You don't know.
no.
Don't know? Okay. Nobody knows. I'm picking.
You know?
Yes.
Not until
I'm-
Kevin
yes,
asks
I
us
know.
to submit our pick do I like really.
I'm picking Detroit. Thank you very much.
I don't tip my hand, and I don't even believe you when you say that, because I know how competitive you are, and we're in a race here. And guess who has the lead here at CHGO for the 2nd year in a row picking games this year?
Well, I hope you pick the Bears.
That's right, the meatball.
And I hope
The
you're
big
right. By the
idiot
way.
over here in the big
How's
red
this?
jacket.
How's this? If they win on Sunday, I will be coming in here on Monday thinking about the playoffs. I guarantee you that.
That's silly.
It will be silly, and I will be thinking about it, and so will a lot of Bears fans. If
I'm-
they win on Sunday, the in the hunt thing that came out this week, which was the most amazing thing that I experienced on vacation that had to do with the Bears, they'll officially be in the hunt at 5-8. That'd be amazing.
It probably will be. I'm still more of looking what pieces have they found as they continue to build this roster. And I think we can go through some of those right now. Darnell Wright, would we all agree, is one of those guys?
Sure.
I think we do need to point out that Darnell Wright did not have his best game against the Vikings. And I think physically, we just talked about this with Baldy a little bit, like he's everything there you like, but he's still having a rookie season to some standpoint. You see him go the wrong direction sometimes. That's what I saw in the film, especially against the Vikings, was just him not necessarily being on the same page with all the calls. And I think Cole Kmet alluded that a little bit when he was asked about Darnell Wright on Monday. But he's still obviously very talented. So you're feeling really good about the right tackle going forward. My question to you guys is, what are the other pieces that you feel really good about that Ryan Poles has found to this point?
You want to go machine gun? I'll go one. You go in the next one. Want to do it like that?
We can machine gun it.
DJ Moore.
Controversial take there, yeah.
So we're not
Well,
just sticking to drafted
He
players.
found DJ
No,
Moore.
Anybody that they brought in.
anyone. I think T.J. Edwards is another one.
Yeah, DJ Moore's at the top. Montez Sweat is 2. If we're gonna like go ranking from best to worst here.
Yep. Okay. For me, I put Braxton Jones in that category.
For a 5th-round pick, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I'd put Kyler Gordon right there.
You can
maybe
do-
even ahead of Braxton.
You can absolutely do Kyler Gordon, no problem. I would say Tyreek Stevenson. I like what I've seen from Tyreek. I think he's going to be here. I'm confident where he's going.
I guess, like,
Are we going?
we always, like, kind of look at this in tiers, or at least I do with my brain, right? Blue chip players. DJ Moore is one of those guys, to me, for sure.
Blue chip is a whole nother.
I think
bar
Montez
to cross.
Sweat is what you're You took a player that you determined was a long-term player because you gave him that long-term money, and now you hope he becomes blue chip. I think Darnell Wright has the potential, but he's certainly not there yet. And I think there's a long list of other players, and some of them you've already mentioned, that have a chance to be here a long time, but still have a lot to prove. Like Kyler Gordon's not a finished product.
No.
Jaquan Brisker's got to get over his, these injury issues here and there. Braxton Jones.
Who's got a higher ceiling, Tyreek Stevenson or Kyler Gordon? In your mind?
Kyler Gordon, I think.
I mean, big difference in size there.
Yeah, but that's not everything.
It's not.
Whoever gets their hands on the ball more.
It's not. And Kyler, for somebody who's, 5, what is he listed at? 5'9"? 6, I forget, whatever it is. That dude makes plays in the backfield way more than you would ever expect him to do. So that's a fair point on the size. But I don't know if I had to bet on the two.
Well, this is
Tyreek
kind of the exercise that Will DeWitt and I did here on Friday, kind of going through the building blocks. And as we started to run through it, and I know that I'm biased towards Ryan Poles. Anybody who watches this show consistently knows that I'm a Ryan Poles guy, but he's made mistakes with Chase Claypool, Velus Jones, but at the same time, you start to add up all the different players. You mentioned Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones. That's your bookend tackles. And now you've added Roschon Johnson to the running back room. He's a good 4th-round rookie, right, to your offense. I guess Tyler Scott still has a lot to prove. Not feeling great about where he is right now. How many opportunities do you get? You're not going to call him a bust
4th-round
like we
pick.
have with Velus to this point. But, yeah, then on the other side of the ball, you've got all these intriguing guys in the secondary that we've just mentioned. Even if you peel back to the depth of the secondary with Jalen Jones and Josh Blackwell, they made plays last year, made some plays this year.
Front and center on the show, damn it. Let's not sleep on 57.
That's what I'm saying. And then that's where I was going to get to. The undrafted guys, Jack Sanborn and Tyson Bagent. Like, those were also good picks, and you're undrafted. So
Two Hall of Famers to be.
Then you add, then that's not even including the trade he made for DJ Moore and a future 1st-round pick that could end up being Marvin Harrison Jr. or Caleb Williams. I just think Ryan Poles is doing a very good job here. I'm not afraid to say that. Like, some people want him fired. I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
If I told you could only get Jim Harbaugh, though, without Ryan Poles.
God damn you. No. I would not do it. Ryan Poles has set this team up for the future.
Okay.
Wow. Braggs really, really barricading himself on Poles Island. Forget about Meatball Island. You are on Poles Island.
He's put this team in a good position here.
Well, I would hope that there would be a way for that to coexist, and I wouldn't rule that out. Is Ryan Poles wearing a Sox hat in that?
Yeah, I've been looking for some good thumbs ups and found Poles before he threw out the first pitch at the cell last
Probably
year.
the best athlete they had on that team last year.
Speaking of Poles, why don't we talk about
That's wrong. Louis Robert.
Can we talk about Stephen Weatherford, $49.99?
We can.
Poles has stated in the past, as he listens to the fan base, like he did with getting the defensive end this offseason. So if we're loud enough, he may actually draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and get Harbaugh in here. Bears fans need to be loud and constant. Bear the F down. All right, well, Steven, you're loud as hell right now with your $49.99, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it. We'll get some more of those super chats here in a little bit. We also got Nick at House Hall, who we got to get to, but first, I want to make sure you're up to speed on what's going on at Midtown Athletic Club, and we love all of their 4 Chicagoland locations. Palatine up in the northwest suburbs, Bannockburn in the North Shore, Willowbrook in the southwest, and then, of course, smack dab in the Bucktown, Lincoln Park area, the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel. You cannot miss it. Midtown Palatine has launched a multi-million-dollar transformation of the club, which will be complete in early 2024. Listeners can lock in favorable rates if they join before the end of the year. Midtown's got something for everyone. If you might be single, you might have families with kids, might just be looking to make some lifestyle changes. Midtown is there for you, whatever you're looking for. And they also have amazing, cool club features. Their locker rooms are insane. Carm likes the steam room.
And the sauna.
I like a good steam room, too.
Also thinking about doing a 30-day Midtown challenge.
30-day? You got to go 30 days in a row?
30 days in a row.
Okay.
You in?
I mean, there's a lot to do there. It seems like you could probably go 30 days in a row and not actually do a lot.
30-day, get your head and neck and shoulders and
sounds great.
Body in better shape, buddy. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm in. My wife and the kids trying to figure that out on a daily schedule. Most likely won't happen, but
30
I
day.
like the idea of it.
30-day challenge.
There you go. We can get amazing yoga for Brian Baldinger.
Oh,
we get Baldy in the yoga studio. And then, of course, just for Carm, they have the best tennis courts and programming in the sport. Midtown is indoor and outdoor tennis, pickleball, and paddle tennis. USTA professional quality all the way. Head over to midtown.com/CHGO. Find out more and to tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest you.
And after you have an amazing workout, then you just settle in, kick back. CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company. Chicago's beer since 1988.
Just pretend like it's a goose. The audio listeners.
You didn't see, now you ruined it. You didn't have to say that. The audio listeners.
I know Hoge's going to say something.
The beer roster, of course, is loaded. The Oktoberfest, the Beer Dog family, the 312 Wheat Ale, which is what Braggs is drinking right now for you listening in the audio world, or the Full Pocket Pills, a Hoge favorite, everyday beer. That's what the brewers are drinking. Grab an Ultra Fresh brewery exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brewhouse on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Had a couple goose down in the old Puerto Rico. And this is not a spray tan. Whoever put that in the damn chat, I don't spray tan. What type of person do you think I am?
My wife sometimes spray tans before she goes on vacation. I don't understand it.
Daniel Franzak.
that's weird.
I'm not Krista Hoge. I'm Mark Carman. I do not spray tan. I just take my beautiful olive skin into the sun and say, "Sun, I love you. Thank you."
Yeah, but it doesn't hold a candle to Nicholas Moriano's beautiful skin.
That's true. Guy's so good looking. I can't even talk to this guy. Look at him.
Nick never comes into a normal transition.
Borderline bad hair day.
You haven't figured out the bit yet?
It's a borderline bad hair.
Whoa! Bad hair day. Look, I'm growing out the hair, Mark. There's going to be a new look to Moriano here in a little bit. There is product in here. Look, I'm never going to have bad
look
hair.
like it.
It's just different.
Nick, you look
just
great.
a little. Thanks.
A new Moriano is
You kind of looking like Jim the sales guy.
Your
His
hair,
crappy hairdo today.
you look like Eberflus. You got flus hair, buddy.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Time out. About Eberflus and hair. Have you guys seen the new Mark Grody look?
Yes. Did you see this tweet? I don't know if it was a tweet or someone was sending me a photo.
What?
Grody's got a little flus going.
Grody combed his hair?
He's
Seriously.
It's slicked back like the flus, you guys. It's slicked back like the flus. There's a resemblance there, and actually, Grody got one more question in. I think it was on Monday, and I think it had something to do with the look. So you'll have to check it out, Carm, next time you're at House Hall.
That's stunning. I am stunned.
Here it is. I can't show it to the audience. I can show it. Tell me that's not a flus.
Oh, so he's kind of playing around, I think.
Or he discovered a comb.
Could have discovered comb and product. Maybe that's what happens when you sit right in back of Nicholas Moriano. All right, Nick, what's happening out there today? Can you give us a thumbnail sketch of what you've learned on this fine Wednesday as we get ready for Detroit and edging into the playoff chase, damn it?
Yeah, to start off, it was Matt Eberflus who spoke to reporters earlier today, and he kind of started with the My Cause, My Cleats, which Eberflus was saying a record number of players, coaches, staff members, including Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, George McCaskey are all participating this year, and for the second straight year, Matt Eberflus is highlighting the Zachariah Sexual Abuse Center. So great cause, you're going to see a lot of cool-looking cleats out this week, but all great cause behind them. But at the end of Matt Eberflus's opening statement, he said this bye week, the Bears are coming back healthy, you guys. Health of the team is looking good, according to Eberflus. Everybody is expected back today, and obviously they'll see where it goes, and they'll put guys through the motions of things, but he's liking where the health of the team is at following this Week 13 bye. And so good vibes coming into House Hall on this Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, I'll continue on asking questions here. So, does that mean that Khalil Herbert, if he's fully healthy, in your mind, Nick, do you think he edges back and get a bulk of the carries this week or no?
I don't know, Mark. It's what you've been seeing out of, Roshan Johnson, Deontay Foreman, even with a, fully healthy Khalil Herbert. I think for the Bears and what they have at their running back room, there's just a lot of versatility back there. So I don't know if one guy should just get a majority of the carries anymore. I think that's a strength of this Bears team when you look at it. And Roshan Johnson's proven that he can be a guy in third down situation that you can trust. So even a fully Khalil Herbert, I don't know if he gets the bulk of the carries for the rest of the season. It's not an indictment on Herbert. It's just you like the running back room and what each guy kind of provides right now.
Dude got 76% of the snaps last 2 weeks ago, whatever Roshan did. Herbert got
right, because like early in the season they made Deontay Foreman inactive, early in the year. And now that you have a fully healthy roster, I think these inactive decisions are going to become pretty tough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Again, I think it speaks to the versatility and the strength of that room. And obviously, they lose David Walker earlier in the season, but you're still seeing each running back kind of provide their own strength to this football team. And Roshan Johnson, I think, continues to show that he's capable of doing it all. So it's going to be hard to keep that guy off the field.
Well, and by the way, that's actually a factor that's worth tracking here as we go down the stretch, because oftentimes within a game, a position coach actually is determining some of those subs and who's going out on the field. That's part of their job. So is there some type of shift from the point that David Walker was no longer employed? I think that's worth looking into. Also, I think it's matchup based, right? Like, why did Roshan Johnson play so much against the Vikings? Well, with their tendencies to come after you as much as they did, in my opinion, Roshan's easily the best pass blocking running back they have. Now, he didn't have a perfect game in that game. He actually had a couple times where, he gave up some pressure, but then he had that outstanding play where he took on two guys and then Tevin Jenkins came out of nowhere to clock the other one. So, it's just Deontay Foreman coming back in the mix, though. I feel like they like how he runs with the ball, maybe more so than the other guys.
Yeah, he's a tough runner, you guys. So, like I said, it's going to be a tough decision for the Bears, and everything is like kind of scheme based, and that was actually something that Matt Eberflus also alluded to when kind of talking about like the lack of deep shots against the Minnesota Vikings. But when you're looking at this Lions team, the Bears had success on offense. They had success as majority of that game. So what he was saying at the end, towards the end of his press conference, like there have been some big plays that have been missed throughout the season. Like, how do you stay patient with Luke Getsy and Justin Fields with that? And Matt Eberflus says they're coming. And when in regards to those big plays, he really believes that. He knows that Justin throws a really good deep ball, and he's proven that. And he said we're excited about the opportunity this week. We didn't see many deep shots, really at all, in that Minnesota Vikings game, given how the Vikings play their defense. A lot of things were towards the perimeter to the boundaries, but in this game, I would expect for Justin Fields, Luke Getsy to have more of those deep downfield throws. We saw the beautiful throw that Justin Fields had to DJ Moore for a touchdown the first matchup. So I think the game plan that you saw against the Minnesota Vikings, you're not going to see that one against the Detroit Lions come Sunday at Soldier Field.
If you were to put an adjective on the Flus today, would you say he was a confident Flus, a relaxed Flus,
Flusy Flus?
A Flusy Flus? I mean, how would you describe the Flus's demeanor today, Nick?
I would go with relaxed Flus there, Mark. I know he was asked the question about like how he's been able to have so much or be patient. And the first thing he said, well, I have two daughters. So, and he kind of got a chuckle out of the media there to have some, just just to have some patience with what's kind of going on. But he was also asked, what's been frustrating about this year and a half into this rebuild? And Eberflus said he wouldn't use the word frustrated, first of all, but you just have to, again, find that balance. And the thing that he was, I guess, most frustrated with, because he was asked about it again, is obviously the wins, right? The Bears only have, 7 up to this point since Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles took over. So the wins is the biggest frustration when you know that the execution is there and you want to keep doing that, but there's also this sense of urgency. you just want to see the result that ultimately every NFL team is looking for, is that W at the end. So I would say for the most part, Eberflus came in, got his cleats up there at a separate little table in front of the podium. Was a relaxed Flus out of the bye week.
I'm gonna upgrade you to a relaxed, honest, flusy Flus. That's what you just described to me. Don't you think that's what I mean? It's a relaxed, honest, flusy Flus.
I just don't care.
Yes, you do.
No.
You care about your flusy
I want to
Flus.
know what demeanor Jim Harbaugh has today
So,
at the Michigan press conference that he probably doesn't have. All right, Nick, anything else from Hallis?
Yeah, just one more thing. When he was asked about, how you keep the morale positive in like a season like this when you don't have, again, enough wins at this point in the season, he said, Eberflus, like the number one issue on a football team is morale, and how you sustain that is you have standards. And so he said, it doesn't matter if you're the starting quarterback or the number one pass rusher on this team. If you're late to something, we're going to fine you. If you're not hustling in practice, we're going to point that out. And you do that to create a culture that is not only visible in practice every single day, but it's also visible on game day. So that when you're looking back to, each individual member of this football team, you're all holding everybody accountable. I know there's been a lot of people, us included, that have looked at this Bears team like, where is the accountability? And they're I think, lacking that in some aspects. But I think behind closed doors, what the Bears try to accomplish with their culture is holding each individual accountable, regardless of your status, regardless of who you are. You're not holding up to the standard. You're going to have some consequences with it.
All right.
There you go. Nick, great stuff, man. Appreciate it. We'll be following you on Twitter at Nicholas Moriano. Nick's also got a good piece coming on a play from the Vikings game that he broke down. That's coming at allchgo.com, so make sure you check that out as well.
All right, you guys.
See you, Nick.
There he is. I'd like to share this baseball tweet with you if I can.
Uh-oh.
No, you can't.
What is it? Is it
Bad?
bad?
Throw up.
Actually, doesn't have to do with the Cubs.
Okay, you can share it.
Well, but
This comes from a guy named Vinny Duber.
Vinny the man.
You guys may have heard of him. Does a great job.
Sox are moving to Nashville.
He said, if you're going to talk.
Mumble.
Stop mumbling
White
in
Sox
your Cubs gear.
You
It's such a weird thing.
don't want the Sox to move to Nashville. You want them right
No,
here.
I don't.
Thank you.
Because I like my friends Vinny Duber, Sean Anderson,
I like them
and Herb
too.
Lawrence.
And
But if it wasn't for them, I would laugh all the way to the Nashville.
You'd miss the White Sox. Don't
Here's what
ever
the
say
tweet
that.
says. People don't know what it says. At Vinny Duber, Sox confirmed that Jerry Reinsdorf met with Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell, but will not disclose which topics were discussed.
Oh, they are moving to Nashville now. Great. That's a terrible tweet.
Okay, what? First of all, the tweet's awesome. Great job, Vinny.
I mean, good job, Vinny, but that is...
What do you mean? It's a terrible tweet.
You've got
It's
one.
You mean the news is bad?
Yes.
Okay.
Flirt.
Well, don't blame the messenger. You're like going after Vinny.
No, come on. Vinny's doing a great job as a reporter. I hate the
Just
mess.
acknowledge
I will shoot the messenger on that one.
My
It's so
hottest
bad.
Chicago sports take is also the most correct. I've never felt more confident in a sports take I've ever had.
And that is,
When are you going to pay off on this?
The one I've been talking about for years. The White Sox will not be here in 10 years.
that would be shocking to me.
They will not be here in 10 years.
That would be shocking.
So
to
if
me.
we make this bet today, you'll
Mm-hmm.
pay me off when I'm 60?
That would be so.
Well, based on Vinny's tweet, it might happen tomorrow.
Honestly, I hate the Sox and their fans.
Thank you.
Grown this hatred for them.
Why?
And-
What is there to hate?
Don't worry about why. See, this is exactly why, right there.
There's nothing to hate about us.
Now that, company success here, I'm fine with the Sox having success.
You're
And,
company
and I
man.
like Herb and Vinny and Sean, so I'm not trying.
What about
But
me?
overall, I don't like you. Overall, if the Sox moved to Nashville, that would be one of the most disrespectful fucking things to ever happen to the. I mean, as a Cub fan, I would be offended by that.
They'd have to
That's ridiculous.
They have to sell the Bulls, too.
Who's moving to Vegas? The A's?
Yes.
Okay, that's not disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
Well, yes, it is very
That
disrespectful.
sucks.
I don't care about Oakland.
Imagine
I don't care. Nobody in
That's
nobody in
disrespectful.
California cares about anything out there. Here in Chicago, we bleed we live and breathe our sports here. And for a team to leave this city, like, that would just be so disrespectful. It's not
first of all,
funny.
we're going to get off topic here for a second. If there's one area of California that does give a shit about their teams,
Oakland.
it's the hardcore people in Oakland.
Yeah.
And they've had every single team in that town move out of there in the last 5 years. And that's disrespectful. That's unbelievable.
You will show respect to other fan bases right now.
No, I don't give a shit
And the
about
point is, the reason why the A's are relevant to this conversation is because show me a difference between that ownership and this ownership right now. It's got all the markings of a guy that's either going to sell the team to somebody else who would want to get the hell out of here, or apparently is just meeting with Nashville right now. What else are they meeting about? Jake Owen coming back to the guaranteed rate field next year?
I think it's just kind of, I mean, that's a rough moment for the White Sox. Cubs are meeting, trying to sit down and have moments with Shohei. White Sox are talking to the Nashville mayor.
Exactly. That puts it all in perspective right there. Right there. That's awesome.
bad.
All right. Couple other topics I wanted to discuss. I highly recommend watching Hard Knocks right now. Obviously, I'm very biased. My guy, Mike McDaniel. It's been very entertaining. But I have struggled these past few years to get into the in-season Hard Knocks. Like, there's just too much going on. All due respect to my guy, J.J. Stankiewicz, did not really care that much about the Colts last year. Was that last year the Colts, or was that 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago.
Who cares?
Yeah, because Flus was still there. But the Dolphins are one of the more interesting teams in football right now, and I've been watching it, 3 episodes in, and I just highly recommend it. The Jalen Phillips injury, though, that was a tough one. So he got, for those of you that missed it, Jalen Phillips, former first-round pick, been having a great season, racking up the sacks for the Dolphins, becoming a really good player, and popped his Achilles on Black Friday against the Jets. And the cameras were already following him all week long leading into that, and then it ends with that. And, dude, it was emotional. It was hard to watch.
It's like, as far as athletic injuries go, that is... It's right there in my biggest fears.
You can see as he's lining up for the snap, he's kind of like shaking out his leg. You can almost tell something wasn't right, and then he plants off his foot on the snap and just goes straight down. And even the offensive lineman right away that he was going up against was like, "Are you okay?"
No, I'm not. I got shot in the back of my leg, and I can't walk, and I'm done for 8 months, and my calf is going to be half the size.
You'll see it sometimes when people pop their Achilles, like how it snaps on the in the skin.
Happened to Aaron Rodgers.
It's a window shade, man.
The reverberation up the leg. Yes, Mubs, I did cry. I definitely teared up.
Mubs,
Dude, that was emotional.
Mubs such an asshole. I love it.
Mubs, you're a man of many tears that you're hiding from everybody. Let them out.
All right, what do you want to say about Puerto Rico before we get out of here?
Oh, couple things. Number one.
How was Spirit Airlines?
Okay, first off,
we got to pay off that tease.
I'm really sorry that I didn't do the video on the plane, but it was such a good flight.
Oh my God.
Spirit Airlines, y'all need to show them some respect.
Casey said Spirit Airlines disappoints again. Karn made it back.
That's a good one, Casey. And everybody else, there's a couple of those who wish that I died. Still here, Casey. I had a great flight on Spirit. They don't have the mesh on the back of the seats, so you can't stick things in, and everything is. But it was the easiest flight ever. I think my off the record move on Spirit Airlines: don't pay for the baggage that you bring on. They don't check. I shouldn't have
very
paid.
much on the record, by the way. We are doing a live podcast.
Yeah. Just don't pay for that. I think you can risk it. They don't check. You could just walk down. But I enjoyed my Spirit Airlines flight. I had a great time. We got down there. It was amazing. And my favorite moment, Hoge, we went to this amazing tennis facility, the Isla Verde Tennis Club, which is like a local club in the middle because our place didn't have a tennis thing. And we get there, and it's locked. And I'm calling the number, and they're like, and the number's going to voicemail. If you have a problem, call this number, and Camille answers. So I call Camille. And Camille's like, oh, no problem. I've never talked to this guy in my life, right? No problem. So glad you're here. Go over to the shed. He's telling me this in Spanish. On the other side of the on that side of the building, and reach up on the top. I didn't know what he was saying. And if you could, and you reach up there, you'll find the key, and you can let yourself into these like chain lock thing. And so Camille let me in, man, and played some tennis, had a great time. It was phenomenal. Okay. Then we came back and we saw Camille another day, and he kind of overcharged us for the courts, and I bought a shirt, but that was fine. Camille's my guy. Had a lovely time.
Did you get in for free the first day?
Well, I did, but we came back, and so we paid him for the first day, and we paid him for the second day, and we bought the shirt, the whole thing. Okay. Yes, Lawrence? Go ahead.
I just want to talk about the video from today. Cause,
me too.
Okay, it was at the El Yunque Rainforest, yes.
Well,
Terrible
I noticed
story.
something, and I thought we should show it to everyone because this was.
Count of 3. 1.
Here's you
2,
doing the rope swing
3.
off into the water here.
Yeah.
But what
Great
was that when you let go of the rope? What happens there? What are you doing?
So people are getting calling me out on Twitter for plugging my nose.
Like a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you will not genderize this. This is a pub.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Screw you,
we are a PC show. Second of all, I don't understand how anybody doesn't plug their nose. Do you not get water up your nose when you?
It's called holding your breath.
It's very.
You
it's
blow out of your nose as you enter the water.
And I love how you think you're gonna ever beat me in a race swimming when you have to plug your nose like that.
I never said I would beat you swimming. I promise
'Cause
you.
you won't.
Listen. When I was a kid, they called me landlubber. They would swim after me. I tried to get out of the pool. They tried to kill me at Camp Coamba. I am a terrible swimmer. That's all fine. However, I think plugging your nose when you jump in is a nice logical thing to do. But when I had to walk out to the end of the diving board in freshman gym and they said dive in, which I can't do, obviously, and then swim down to the other thing and do the crawl, which I think I've told the story on the thing before. But so I jumped in, plugged my nose, and started to do the side stroke down. And Wisniewski, the great gym teacher at Highland Park High School, whose claim to fame was thinking that the closer you lived to the lake was the worse the athlete you were because he hated Jews. God bless him. He started screaming, Carman, crawl! And I couldn't do the crawl. Wisniewski made me a beginner. So
my
I
wife
surfed on the
can't
kickboard.
have water in the shower go over her face. She
Thank you.
starts to panic.
Right.
So you're like her.
That's right.
And I traded her last night for Shohei Ohtani.
That's fine. I plugged my nose.
You tweeted that you would leave your wife for Shohei.
I didn't say leave. I said I'd trade her for Shohei. I'd miss her. I showed her. We were sitting next to each other. I showed her the tweet.
Like for 10 years, you'd be without her and then come back after Shohei retires type of thing, reacquire Jenny?
Yeah, it's like, and then somebody goes, well, think hard about this. Has Shohei Ohtani ever yelled at you about a tweet? No, he hasn't. Jenny did.
Shohei would have $800 million, too.
That's true. That's true,
Jenny
too.
does not have that.
No.
Also, you're a bad husband.
Hey, by the way, also for everybody who's getting it, and I'm out of myself in the bad swing, there was a Jasmine who really couldn't swim at all, who was on our Yukon tour, and she had the life vest on, the whole thing, and we put her down a different waterfall. I got that video. I can send that. Maybe that'll be tomorrow's video.
Yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at Jasmine, the random person.
Not Jasmine. You Lawrence, you. But
Yeah,
whatever.
Lawrence,
Anyway, the point is that I went out and she went down that waterfall, and the guy was like, "Yo, get out there and save Jasmine when she lands because she's not going to know what to do." And so I was out there treading water, floating, and I saved Jasmine. So take that.
You saved somebody who was wearing a life jacket?
She would have floated downstream and never returned to the group. She was going to be gone. And let me tell you something. Saving Jasmine, it wasn't that easy. It's a good effort by me.
Okay.
But great person, Jasmine, Nashville. Huge CHGO Bears fan.
Nashville.
Nashville.
All right. Lawrence looks like
Yeah,
he wants
huge
us
Sox
to promote
fan,
something.
We should.
Well, I mean,
promote
you
this.
should promote this. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. We have a diehard membership sale going on right now. We don't
That's
do
right.
this a lot.
No, this is like kind
Once
of a
a
big
year
deal right
kind of
now.
thing.
This is huge. Yearly membership slashed by $20 right now. You can get it for $59.99. What does that get you? It gets you access to all of our stuff behind the paywall.
Free shirt right out the gate.
Yeah, Braggs, do that. You love this ad. Come on, Braggs. Read
No,
it.
I'm not. What do you mean, Braggs? You love this ad?
You do a great job of selling it.
My gosh,
It doesn't need to be an ad.
No, it's not an ad.
We all know this off the top of our head.
Listen,
what I mean.
20% off the merch. You get hooked up on all our takeover events.
Free shirt right out the gate. Discounts on shirts going forward and hats. We have hats on our store now. The hats are awesome.
Hoge newsletter.
Like the hats are sweet, honestly. Like they look sweet here in this picture, but they don't even show the detail. Like underneath the bill, it has like cool CHGO insignia under it, and inside as Lawrence is running, the hats are great. The hats are absolutely fantastic.
No one had any idea that Lawrence was running.
Well, I'm just, giving people a behind the scenes 20% off events.
That's like you calling out
like our
random people in the chat,
tailgates, live events. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. The CHGO
That's
under the
cool.
bill.
Lawrence ran to get that hat. In case
Look
you
at
were
you got the
wondering.
little side flag. They're sweet hats, man. They're really good quality. Really good
It's
quality.
an excellent hat. Great pint glasses. And bottom line, we just really appreciate your support, and we try to give the value back to you becoming a diehard.
No, in all seriousness, if you are somebody who enjoys the show every day, the diehard membership will pay for itself.
Plus,
with all the discounts you get, with the happy hours you get, and if you feel like it doesn't, Carm will give you a refund. With his money,
no problem. And for the record, our Discord channel where we got everybody who's diehards. They're all talking in there all the time. I was sitting there like basically spending my vacation on Discord talking a couple days. So. Didn't see Hoge, didn't see Braggs. Carm on vacation, just having deep discussions, telling everybody that I missed him.
You didn't see me, maybe because you weren't tuned into the shows all week that I was doing while you were gone. And
I definitely was not.
I also want to tell you guys about FOCO.
That's the last thing I was doing.
Make sure you use the code CHGO on all non-presale items. Get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. If you're looking into some Nashville White Sox gear, they'll eventually have that available for you. Aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a game. Set decorations like you see behind us. FOCO has donated a few of those awesome pieces for our set, so they've showed us some love. Go show them some love. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO10 for 10% off.
Did you sleep in those pants last night?
No, why?
He's been wearing that hat for a week now.
Those pants look like you slept in them
I did not sleep in these pants. And I have been wearing this hat because I'm trying to,
They're not getting Ohtani.
get the Ohtani vibes going here.
They're not getting Ohtani. Just
Nervous wreck.
I'm with all the cranky media down there in Nashville. Make up your mind,
stop.
dude. Yeah, no. You know why? Because it's affecting my personal life because I have to deal with this idiot every day. Just make up your mind so Braggs can move on with his life.
Just the
And
cranky.
then I can move on with mine.
The cranky media, which includes some of the cranky media that works at CHGO, these are something to talk about.
We're not cranky here at CHGO. Never.
Are you kidding? They're whining every day about this. Hey, at least you got something to talk about. What else will you be talking about? I will get Tyler Glass now. Who cares? I hope they drag this show thing out.
They act like there's all this access to all the meetings that would be so much better than the coverage we have right now with the mystique of where he's going. It's literally the same difference.
By the way, the guy does. Okay, I'm just whatever.
I will give both of you guys credit though. You both were easy on me last week when Northwestern took down Purdue.
That wasn't easy. I was out of town.
I was easy on you.
Carm and I exchanged texts.
I
found out Saturday morning who won the game.
I haven't been able to go to Purdue games all year. It was the first game I've seen this season.
and
they freaking lose.
I felt no reason to dunk on you.
Northwestern was the better team, and the better team won the
right.
game. What was there to?
Whenever Purdue shows up in Evanston, the Cats win. It's no big deal.
It was just like Wisconsin last night and Michigan State. They've won 3 straight there. Why wouldn't they have won that game?
All the Cats do is beat number 1 teams.
Bo owns Izzo. Still. All right, Stephen Weatherford, $4.99 super chat here. Carm, Stroud would have been doing the same thing Justin has been doing because of Getsy's scheme. Coaching matters. Quoting King Hoge.
Steven, you could be right about that. However, let's give the guy a little bit of credit. How about just a little bit of credit?
Well, I'll give him
He's
credit.
being considered for the MVP on the Texans.
Yeah, but he's saying that if he was here, he'd be throwing screen passes that don't do anything because Luke Getsy's scheme sucks.
Okay, so the whole take that any quarterback that comes here would automatically suck, I'm not down with.
Yeah, but you heard Baldy say earlier in the show, I think it was a great point. Like, if Tua doesn't end up with Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill, he's probably not there anymore.
By the way, Tyreek Hill should actually be the MVP.
Oh, 100%. He's unbelievable. Again, watch Hard Knocks. He's insane.
Or if you're going 49ers, Christian McCaffrey. Like, what? How are we not
I agree.
naming,
Brock
Purdy's like what did we say? He's like the 8th best player on that offense? Come on.
I don't know if I go that far. Purdy's been pretty damn good, but he's not even the best player on the team, which I agree with.
Look, the Niners is a great thing because Kyle Shanahan, what he's got rolling there is incredibly sweet. I'm not arguing that coaching.
Purdy's probably not even playing if he's on any of the other 31 teams.
Well, that's another great credit. Like, who can run our offense and how can I set him up for success? And he knows how to do it. I'm not saying coaching doesn't matter. Obviously, it matters. But I'm not.
The other thing too is like Baldy's saying Purdy should be MVP, and that's starting to like really pick up steam. Like, let's give it to Tyreek Hill. Dude is unbelievable. He's going to have over 2,000 receiving yards.
But
when's the last time a wide receiver won MVP?
Where were you 2 minutes ago when we just had that discussion? Like, really, I know you were.
Shut up, Jim.
I know you're sitting here, but I want to know where your head was.
I do the same
Were you
thing.
thinking about Ohtani?
No, I was reading the chat over here.
I actually didn't realize that he didn't hear it. I just thought he was. I thought he was just agreeing.
He was
with
going
us.
back to
No,
it?
I didn't hear it at all.
No, I could tell he had no clue we had just talked about that. All right,
when is the last time a wide receiver won MVP?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Has they ever won a wide? I don't.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice had to win an MVP.
I don't think he did. What?
Keyshawn Johnson from
Keyshawn was the first to ever be the number 1 pick as a wide receiver, but I don't know if he ever won MVP as a wide receiver.
We'll talk about it on Twitter afterwards. Let's keep it moving because nature is calling.
Right on time.
I mean,
we're
way over. I've set the clock, and at 1:10, this body says I should be out of this seat. Let's go.
Steven 499 Bears fan dream draft scenario. Draft Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I believe Shiloh Sanders, the defensive son of Dion. Get 2 kids of legendary players. There you go.
Steven, you're awesome. We appreciate the support, brother.
And then what's next?
Hunter.
Hunter, $5. Baldy nailed it. If you're serious about winning championships, you do championship things like go after Harbaugh, a championship level coach. I 100% agree with that, Hunter.
I don't want Jim Harbaugh, but I agree with the philosophy.
It would be great, just seriously, if any of the teams here in town wanted.
By the way, if they sign Harbaugh, I'll get on board. But
Elliot,
did you see what he said about Iowa? What an asshole. We just have to play this game. I mean, Iowa, they're just terrible, and they run the ball. It's not even worthless. Like, did you hear that stuff?
They are terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'm pretty sure he didn't call them terrible.
He did. It was.
Well, they are terrible.
Yeah. Show your opponent respect. You don't do that crap. It was we all know that the championship game was last week against Ohio State. I don't even know why I have to play this game. I mean, Iowa, you know what they're gonna do. It's just a crap. We have a bigger school, the bigger recruiting base, and we're just so much better. I don't even know why I have to play. Shut up. Straight jerk. But go ahead, bring him to the Bears.
I missed all of that. I don't know where that's coming from.
That was annoying. Don't go at my alma mater like that. And I know I'm Mr. Northwestern, but I went to Iowa. And you should not like that either, Lawrence, or anybody should.
Iowa's offense is pathetic.
I don't care.
Everyone should just call them out for it. It's kind of the same as watching the Bears. There you go.
That's way worse.
Show
the Bears.
I mean, the same concept as in like terrible scheme and all that.
All right, Elliot 970. Who's the most surprising Bear this year, good or bad?
Good question.
That's a good question. The most
surprising Bear, good or bad? I'd say Tevin getting the level that he's gotten to. And I'm not even that surprised by that. But
I'm not surprised.
I'd say Tevin, and I'm not even surprised by that.
I'm sorry, I'm on both. But what are the big surprises here? You tell me, Silent Braggs.
I'll let Hoge go.
Silent Braggs.
We only
no
wish.
such thing.
Maybe TJ Edwards playing to like a Pro Bowl level. Like I really like the signing. I already knew he's a really good player, obviously, but I mean he's been really good.
About Cole Kmet.
The biggest surprising this year is that two of the guys on the staff got fired.
We were all like, oh,
That was a surprise.
I'm surprised Tremaine Edmonds hasn't made a bigger impact than he has.
There we go.
So if we want to go on the negative side, I would go there.
Donnie, you nailed it. Can we end the show, please?
You're the one who keeps
gotta
talking.
pee.
All right.
Just think
Colby's
about
gotta dance.
that rainforest and the waterfall.
There it is.
Colby, $22 super chat.
Keep him coming. Let's just
Someone needs to ask Getsy why Justin Fields misses
MOF.
Middle of
the field reads.
There you go.
Reads.
Good one, Colby.
You just are incapable of this.
We'll see you tomorrow. Braggs will be here. Hoge at Hallis Hall. I'm covering on Friday. Later.
Elliot 970, $2. Darnell Mooney has been the most surprising.
Keep bringing the super chats in so Carm can't pee.
That's why they're doing it.
Okay, fine. I'll just sit here and be in pain.
Pee your pants.
End the show.
Oh, now you want me to end the show?
Oh, look at this guy.
Back tomorrow at noon.
See you later.
We all silly like the mayor.